Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and to discuss our main topic for this afternoon, we're delighted to be joined over the telephone by Dr. Hassan Wagih, Professor of Political Science from Cairo University. Dr. Hassan, a very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you, sir, for joining us. Now, Dr. Egypt, of course, marks on the 9th of March every year the Veteran Warrior and Martyrs Day. Why was this day chosen in specific to mark this occasion, Doctor?
It is very important to mark this day because actually it's a wake-up call.
Yes.
It's a wake-up call for every issue to understand and to know and to absorb the lessons of those great martyrs who paid their life, who were so courageous in defending us. And some of them are very memorable because of their traits, their ethics, their values, and their patriotism and their professionalism.
Absolutely. Doctor, why is the late Lieutenant General Abdelmenam Riyad a unique example of this martyrdom?
Yeah, Abdelmenam Riyad in particular was a great example. He died on 8th of March, despite the fact that the commemoration today, 9th of March, but he died 8th of March, and I will never forget that because it was my birthday. And I listened to my father, who really got in touch with him, and he spoke extremely high of him. He is very cultural, he's very decent, he's very... You know, he exemplified for us the concept of self-empowerment.
Yes.
When it was there after the 60th war, I mean, he built the entire army with compassion, but he has a great share. Also, that he died on the very front line on the Suez Canal. He shows how the man is, and he was saying that despite some people told him you could be there in the back front in instruction. What did he say? That those soldiers are standing at the verge of the bank of the
yes.
need to have their morale raised. I am here to do that. And when he died, you remember the funeral. The funeral was unprecedented. You know, the balcony. I remember that even the narrow streets in Cairo,
yes,
the narrow streets in Cairo were captive people, and I heard them. I was in one of those narrow streets, and I heard the people say in Arabic, Riyad Mamatch Harb left Mantaj, which means Riyad didn't die. The war will go on, will take place. So it was a great, great wake-up call for the national aspiration, for every of him. So that man is in particular, the very our family could surround and in the entire country support.
Indeed. Doctor...
Something I'd like, excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
To say something about what Salisbury said when he was cracked World War. You know, Abdelmenam Riyad participated in that war, in the Second World War. The whole Europe was even bombed by, was severely under bombing, and no place could gather all the leaders except in the house in Cairo. And all the soldiers, all the great top brass officers were in Cairo. You know, they choose all the alliance forces in this fatal battle in Afghanistan, choose the word Army of the Night to raise the morale of the entire. So as Abdelmenam Riyad was there, how proud he was. He felt so proud.
Indeed.
Because that name was given to the entire world, and Egypt played a role even by its long history.
Absolutely. Now, Doctor, history has witnessed lots of martyrs, Egyptian martyrs, and today we've also seen the President speaking about and honoring a different kind of martyrdom, which is that of the people and the doctors and the medical practitioners, the nurses, etc., who sacrificed their lives really on treating the coronavirus patients during the height of the pandemic. How important do you see this expansion of the concept of martyrdom to even the health sector?
Was a very good step on the part of His Excellency the President.
Yes.
Because actually, if you enlarge that concept, you really enlarge the scope of the wake-up call for all Egyptians.
Yes.
To be on the front line, facing any threat that would threaten our country. And actually, the white army or the doctors, many of them played a great role.
Absolutely.
Minimizing the impact of this epidemic, and they really did his job, and many of them became martyrs. Also, you know, I would to add to that, the scientists like Mashad, who were killed also in their strive for raising the flag of this country. So I think the president, when he widened the scope of martyrdom, that was a very smart move.
And he also further widened it to speak about and honor the other people who also were injured or suffered other kinds of losses during the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, one of which was the doctor who lost his eyesight during his work at the isolation hospitals, Dr. Mahmoud Sami. We saw him today being honored by the president and being thanked for his sacrifice as well.
Yeah, actually, the doctor in Egypt really deserves to be honored because and what they did, and they're ready to be in the very front line when it comes to facing this topic, which really overswam the entire world, and Egypt minimized its impact exerted by those doctors and by the state.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Dr. Hassan, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi today highlighted a very important concept in his speech, saying that as a sign of loyalty to the martyrs that lost their lives to protect our country, to protect the homeland, the nation, we must continue on the path of development in order to really create a deeper understanding of the value of their sacrifice and patriotism. How important is that message highlighted by the President in his speech today?
I think that President Reid point when he tried to show, to give the due favor for those who really sacrifice. For the fact, and I think this goes after the of social a country that wants development, capital G. We have to develop the issue or the concept of social responsibility.
Yes.
So here in this discourse of the president, I think this covers this very important, and usually it's not taken care of well off. So I think to do that, to care of the families, tell them small kids like those or people who need help because the father has already passed. Nobody's to them. I think it enlarges the suffering. So we want to iterate. And I think by social response, which was here in the occasion, I think it's a good advice to be taken.
Yes. Now, Doctor, the President also talked about the country's future plans, which were also only made possible really by the martyrs' sacrifice in protecting their homeland. How do you see the country progressing in its development path? He spoke about the Decent Life Initiative, which is on the path to change the lives of 58 million people living in rural areas around the country.
Yes, that's a good initiative. And that's like, the more we have stability, more we have social stability, more focus, standing together to meet challenges. The Egyptian people, the Egyptian army, the police, all the sects of Egypt should get together to care about stability, because when we have this stability, I think we can go for all these initiatives and we can enlarge the scope of that initiative. Egypt needs a lot of work.
Yes.
So I think what is doing now,
Yes.
when it comes to state and patroned by itself, I think this is a step. We should enlarge that of steps, and of course we need a lot of work to face our.
Indeed. Doctor, also the President called on all the state institutions as well as the media and intellectuals all around the country to really prepare for the launch of the new modern state, which of course is declared in new cities, including the new administrative capital. He spoke about not only new buildings, but a whole new modern way of life, a modern state in all aspects. Could you shed more light on what is expected? What can Egyptian citizens do in preparation for this shift into a modern state?
Yeah, I think that the slogan of investing by cities, new hospitals, schools, etc. I think we have to invest in the. So investing in the people is our very important tool to make the system much more capable of contributing to the advancement.
Indeed. Right. I'd like to thank you very, very much. Our guest, Dr. Hassan Wagih, Professor of Political Science, Cairo University. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us this afternoon and for your insight. Another short break and we'll be right back. Do stay tuned.